Hey folks, Eric Jacobson here, and it's a rainy day here in Maine. It's a spring day, it's chilly. I'm looking out the window here and I think the rain may have stopped for a while, but it's drizzly on and off, so good day to be in the studio. I've been working on some paintings and I've been sitting down here for a little while just looking at some books. It's always a good time to look at books when you have a day when you can't get out and get after it. And I wanted to share with you a book by William Reese. This is the cover here. And I had the pleasure of being a mentee of Bill Reese for a short while. Toward the end of his life, I was living in Washington State, which is where he lived as well. And he would critique my work. So it was really for me, it was a kind of another one of those stepping stones in my path as an artist, to have somebody like Bill look at my work and help me with it. And he did not give light critiques, and he was very kind and generous, very generous with his time. But if he thought that there was something that you missed the mark on, he was going to let you know, and he would make a point about it, which is exactly what I wanted at that point in my career. I wanted someone to tell me, really, don't just tell me it looks nice or it's good. And I knew it wasn't good, the work. I knew it needed improvement. And so it was valuable critiques that he gave me. But this book is a wonderful book, and I'll just show you a couple of pictures in here. I'm flipping through here to find something that might come across well on the camera. Here's a still life right here. You can see that. That's a watercolor painting. So he worked in oil and watercolor, did a lot of sketching. And let me see here, I'll show you another painting. Here's an oil painting by Bill. So Bill Reese was a really terrific artist and very intellectual, and he understood, the principles that it takes to put together a good painting. And that's what he was interested in, is painting the feeling that he got from a scene. I found another one here I can show you. So trying to get that feeling down there, and he wasn't as concerned with whether everything was included in the scene. He was going to look at that scene and make a poem out of it, in a sense. He was going to take the things that he was interested in, accent those, and make less of the things that didn't really speak to him as much and didn't tell him much about the scene. So in the end, his painting, as he would, frame that and the world would see it, they would see sort of a crystallization of the essence of a scene seen through Bill's eyes at that moment, and what he wanted. And there's a quote in the back of this book that speaks a little bit to this, that really spoke to me, and I can put my finger on it here in a second. I should be able to. I'm going to go back this way. All right, here it is. He says, "I'm far more interested in art than subject." So that explained the way he looked at the world, the way he looked at this idea of what it is to be a painter. It wasn't just a mere copying of things in front of you. It was making art out of the world. It was going out into the world, finding subject matter that was interesting to you, and putting down just the things that are interesting to you, and arranging them in a way that was artful. And what that means in one sense, in this very simple sense to an artist, is you're going to find a scene and you're going to make a painting or a drawing of that scene, but you're going to make sure that you have a nice strong composition for one. Okay, so that would be one of the things that he's talking about when he's saying being interested in art. He wasn't interested in exactly the way the house and the barn were juxtaposed to each other. He was interested in the house and the barn and the scene, but he was going to make art of it. So if there was something that was not quite was off a little bit in the design, in the actual view from where he was looking, he was going to change that. So there's a little blurb here that he writes about this quote. He says, "The subject is secondary. I'm far more interested in the essence, the art, than in the subject, and will sacrifice any part of it for the sake of the elements of art. And this can be done without losing the integrity of the subject. The creation of a piece of art is and must be an emotional experience. And that is why an artist should paint only that which is dear to him. It is difficult to be emotional about something he knows nothing about." So when I read that, that makes me want to approach the landscape the same way. And instead of just driving around for half an hour or 40 minutes and then sort of landing on something because I think it might be, that's okay to paint, it makes me think, in order to get a strong painting out of something, there should be a stronger feeling than just, oh, that looks okay, I think I'll paint that, kind of an approach. So this book itself is full of all kinds of stuff like that sort of the mental game of painting, as well as a lot of the principles, but the almost kind of philosophical behind why do you paint, not just, okay, you have a set of paints and you have an easel and a brush, so go paint. That doesn't really make a painter just because you own paints and brushes and canvas and you actually go out and paint. That's not really what painting's about. It's a deeper thing. It's about the art. So if you're interested, ever in looking up this book, William Reese, it's by Mary N. Balcom. You can probably see that if I hold that close enough for you. And it's a great book. So anyway, happy painting, everybody.